Recording. Do you guys have, I have an opening bits folder. Whenever I think of something funny, I have this big folder that I just throw them into. And
That's so organized.
sometimes I look at those things and I'm like, what state of extraordinary intoxication was I in that I wrote that down? For example, I like drinking mull. M
What?
What?
M-U-L. I don't know what that is.
Were you trying to write mulled wine and
I
you just stopped typing?
I don't know. I don't know why that would be funny enough to put it in this folder.
Also notably, I don't think you drink mulled wine.
I have
Oh,
I have remembered to mention Cool, one of our subscribers. Cool,
hi,
on
cool.
the screen here somewhere, right? Where is he? Where you at, Cool? There you are, right in the middle. I no idea why I'm supposed to mention him, but hi. Uh, I have. I want to talk about Nintendo call-in lines.
Nintendo call
What?
what kind of what?
Don't know what that. I
What?
What kind
assume
of
that
call
that's in
lines?
reference. Do you guys remember this? Maybe this is exactly what I
Yeah,
wanted.
there were call lines in the '90s where you would call in and like it would play something for you, and it would pretend like you are now a special member of such and such club, and it was really just like running up
No,
the minutes so they could
no,
charge you, right?
that's not what I mean. What I mean is the Nintendo video game helplines. Before the
Oh,
internet,
yeah, I was gonna say didn't give you hints.
yeah. For individuals who don't know, uh, in the 90s and early 2000s, in the pre-internet days, before the internet was like widely available in every home, you couldn't look up how to get past a level. So there were lines that you could call, and they were in the back of magazines, right? In the back of the Nintendo Power, I think it was called, and Game Informer
Yeah.
magazine, right? There were call-in lines that they were $1.99 a minute, and you would call them, and they would walk you through how to beat a level. Uh, and that is so extremely funny in retrospect. Maybe that was all
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about.
Well, like, do you know how old we sound?
um,
Well, you look in the back of a
If you
magazine,
went to the
dearie,
back
and you
of a
called.
magazine, there were these things called magazines. They were like books. Wait a minute, there were these things called books, and you could.
And I would pick up my telephone that was attached to the wall.
Yes, you would have to punch physical buttons that would literally connect circuits inside the phone.
And when we said hang up the phone, it was because we were hanging it back on the
You
wall.
know when people, you know that symbol that people do where they make the like the sign language Y with their hand. They do like they stick out their pinky and their thumb and they put that to their ear. That's actually representing a physical device.
Oh, one time, my sister was mad about something, and she was like speaking very emphatically and stabbed me in the eye with the
What the hell?
no,
What the
the
hell?
like antenna on
Wait,
the
excuse
cordless phone.
what the
On the cord on the cordless phone. It had an antenna.
There's this one time my sister was speaking very emphatically and she stabbed me in the eye.
Yeah, that escalated very quickly.
Oh, I was trying to get out the phone part, but then I was laughing.
Okay.
I was fine. My eyes are fine.
Hello, everybody. Mira's here.
Hi, yes, hi. How are you, Tom?
I perhaps literally never been better. Uh, you should all go and subscribe to youtube.com/MeeraReads. And do you have a Twitter too? Is that the case?
Yes, I'm MeeraReads on Twitter, so I am MeeraReads.
Can we please get everyone in chat to stand up Spartacus style and say, no, I'm MeeraReads.
I'm
Yeah.
MeeraReads.
I'm Mirror. Huh. And Mira, I understand you have something for us today?
Yes, I have for you guys a So perhaps some of our crossover audience may have noticed that I've sort of been on hiatus for the last several months. I put out like one video in December. It's been a combination of like, just personal life stuff and writer's block and imposter syndrome, and all of that combined. So I've been sitting on what's getting to be a pretty hefty stack of half baked theories. So what I am going to do is begin presenting some of these as like a proper deal me a card, but just be aware that there aren't that many cards and we're going to be doing free form discussion for probably half of this.
All right, cool.
So
We're just gonna be working through some of these theories. We're all gonna sit together. We're gonna call it. We're gonna call we're gonna call it. Oh no, the color is wrong. Hang on. Hang on. This joke's funny. I promise. We're gonna call it therapy.
well, and that's really what it is. Is I was talking to someone else and I was like, yeah, like I don't know what's wrong with me. Like I don't know what the issue is. And they were like, well, have you been hanging out with Tom and Zach? And I was like, no. And they were like, well, go do that. So here we are.
Welcome back to the show. I have missed you.
I've
I
missed
missed you
you
as well.
guys. This is a
It,
fantastic thing that we do.
Oh God, Zach and I get tired of just torturing each other.
yeah, it's great. It's great to introduce new people to our torture.
yeah.
All right, so
So
what do we have to start here?
um all right, so this theory is going to come in three interconnected prongs. And
All
so
right,
I'm going to start on the first one and then we're going to work our way across.
all right.
So the first clue in the first theory comes from the Lord of the Rings wiki.
Ooh,
And
okay.
it says Glaurung was the first terrestrial fire breathing dragon in Middle Earth, bred by Morgoth himself in the depths of Angband. He was known as the father of dragons, and so was possibly the progenitor of the dragons.
I'm not sure how fast you think I can type. Was the first fire-breathing dragon in Middle Earth bred by Morgoth himself?
Yeah, you can just say bred by Morgoth. Uh, he was known as the father of dragons.
He was known as the father of dragons. There's this series I've been reading.
Uh
It's called like Game of Thrones or something. Um,
huh.
and there's a character that is often referred to as the mother of dragons.
We'll call that a ding.
Yeah, I love this game.
Yeah.
It's a hard fought
Daenerys
thing. Hard fought thing.
Daenerys Targaryen, mother of dragons, hatched dragon eggs when they were thought to be extinct.
Mother of dragons hatched dragon eggs. They were thought to be extinct. So okay, interesting. Now I'm not really on the up and up on my Middle Earth lore. Um, I am in the process of reading the series now. I am almost exactly halfway through, and the only major takeaways I have are that Andy Serkis is a fantastic voice actor, um,
Oh yeah.
and that I can't tell you how much I hope Gimli does get to sleep with Galadriel at the end of the book.
Well, that's what they kind of
You
did
shipping them?
Oh
with the
yes.
Hobbit movies. It like they added in a dwarf elf romance in the Hobbit movies to like sate that particular part of the fandom, I think.
Oh, okay.
Um I mean, it's not in the books, but like Peter Jackson was like, you know what this series needs is dwarf elf romance, and honestly, I didn't hate it.
Like to be like I was not a huge fan of a lot of the external stuff that they added in the Hobbit movies. I didn't have a problem with that one.
Yeah. I mean, they were cute.
Yeah, it's no dwarf elf romance quite like Gimli Legolas, but that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, I saw okay, I'm not gonna go on a meme tangent, but I
Are you
could.
sure? We can go.
Um,
Yeah, no, there's nothing stopping you actually.
well, no, it was one I saw like early because I'm in a lot of shit posting groups, and one of them is a Lord of the Rings shit posting group because of course I am. And
Honestly, that makes sense.
it was like I think it was like Valentine's Day, and I can't remember what everybody else was doing, but then you look in the corner and there's Gimli and Legolas just making out, and I was like, that tracks.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
but
uh,
so for
oh,
this
I'm
for
sorry,
these series,
Tangent over, go ahead.
um, well, oh, so what I was gonna say is I will provide you with anything from the Lord of the Rings that you need to know. Um, so like these are Song of Ice and Fire theories, but like I thought of them because of these like Tolkien ideas, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, that makes
there's
complete sense. We did those recently.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
we've been doing a few Lord of the Ringsy theories lately.
Yes,
yeah, I feel like
it's
that's
been on
been
the
like
brain.
very yeah. Uh
Um,
so there are some more Song of Ice and Fire things like around Glaurung there, and then if you guys need another card, I'll there's only one other Lord of the Rings card in this section of the theory.
I think I would like to whole shot a piece. I would like to whole shot a ding.
Yeah.
And like I don't know what the reward will be, but please Mira, please tell me that this is a ding. A similarly named character exists in Star Trek to Glaurung.
No, but that would be amazing.
Gowron is
Gowron.
Okay, so I'm also in a Star Trek shitposting group, and now what I need to do is I need to get a picture, an official picture of Glaurung, and I need to put Gowron eyes on him
Yes,
and
because
Yes!
make it
Gowron eyes are
Glaurung
amazing.
eyes.
Yes!
Yes.
It's to the point that some of my friends who don't watch and have never watched any Star Trek know the Gowron eyes meme, and I'm like, we have really done our best work. But not only have we made a meme that has escaped the community, it represents one of the best aspects of the show.
Wait,
Anything with Gowron in it is a good time.
do they
I'll
know about
review it.
the Q plate?
No, they don't know about the Q plate.
Oh.
Some of them have seen the Q mariachi band. Although I post that clip a lot.
Q plate.
That is a Gowron. That is a quote. If you go look up Lord of the Rings, it's in there.
Tom got it.
Ah, I've lost my mind. Yeah.
That that's the opening words to the Silmarillion. Silmarillion.
Yeah. In a hole in the ground there lived a Gowron. Oh my god.
Glory to you and your hobbit hole.
Glory to you and your hobbit hole. May the hair on your toes never fall off. So, we talk about this a lot. We talk about how like a joke that is funnier, the narrower the scope of it is. And
This
man,
joke might only be funny to like 20 people worldwide,
yeah,
or
this
at the very
joke
least
is
20 people who watch this.
like the three-part Venn diagram. You need to be right in the middle for this to be funny, but man, for those people, it's really funny.
I feel
Uh,
like there are like more people at that intersection than one might think
I think you're, and a lot of them watch these videos.
Yeah,
because they're
if there were
cool.
ever a place for people to find it funny, it would be in this like little corner of YouTube.
Oh my god. Glory to you and your house of the dragon. Oh, and on earth peace to his people. Oh God! Oh, I've gone insane. Ah.
Glory to you and your hobbit hole.
Okay, guys, let's do. Zach, I need you to take the reins, please.
Oh goodness! Look, I have very bad news about how distracted I am right now.
We're
Uh,
we're talking about dragons, Zach. I know you can do it.
so let's talk about dragons. So the first terrestrial fire-breathing dragon
uh,
was known as Father of Dragons. Daenerys is known as the Mother of Dragons. And Daenerys brought dragons back from extinction. She is leading a new generation of post-extinction dragons, hatched from eggs in a magic ritual. Is that a ding or a ding
Yeah,
adjacent?
we'll give you a ding for magic ritual.
oh, thank fuck.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Just I would just say like you know emphasize the part that there was a magic ritual involved, and I'm guessing you can get more from there.
In a magic
Well, it was
ritual.
a blood sacrifice of MeeraReads, Khal Drogo, who was a horse at the time, uh, and
That's the one. That's the only person who was actually a horse. Wait.
uh,
Yeah. Oh God, I'm crying.
um. Okay. Actually, yeah. I'll give you that ding. I'll give you that ding. Um. Some people named Glidus have speculated
Some
that
gliduses.
some
some
Gliduses, or
gliduses, some
I think the
glidei.
plural. I think it's just Glidus, like the plural of moose is moose.
We don't think it's
Um,
Glida. Glida.
No,
Glide.
there was the woman who dated Bill Murray and
Oh. Oh
the Willy
no.
Wonka guy.
No, the root
Glinda?
would have to be the same as it must be a Greek root like octopus.
Yeah.
It would be it would be glidipes. Wait, right. Someone in the just God damn
Sorry,
it. I've
can you
gone
repeat that
fucking
one, Tom?
crazy.
Can you repeat that one, Tom?
No, I don't want to. I want to move
Yeah,
on.
no,
God
don't.
damn it.
You realize it was dangerously Ligma adjacent, and you're
It
not going
was.
back to that
It
one.
was. I backpedaled so hard.
Oh
Oh,
Lord.
I've never reversed side like man the transmission
Man,
popped in my car.
the worst part
Uh,
was immediately I'm like, I know how to make this a Ligma joke. My
yeah.
brain, like in record time, it was like spinning fucking 14 Ligma cubes to like.
So,
Oh God. Okay, so the people who are here for the Saga of Ice and Fire theories,
I'm sorry.
sorry
yeah.
guys. You it's been nice having you. Okay.
Um,
Daenerys engaged in a blood magic ritual. Uh uh
um,
some gliduses.
speculate that the souls of three people or three somebodies were used to wake up the three dragon eggs.
Do some gliduses speculate this? I don't know this theory.
Yes, it's one of my
Yeah,
favorite
so
videos of this.
some Gliduses. This was like their second video series after the sickly mockingbird.
Whoa. Okay.
This was back when Glidus did theory videos, like his own theories,
Yeah.
before he retired and just made Game of Thrones content. I'm joking. I'm
Before
joking, Glidus. We love you.
Yeah, before he
uh,
moved up in the world and started making Game of
yeah,
Thrones
but
content.
Before he started making
one
content
of them
that
has clearly been validated by his audience and YouTube and all those things. And
Not
well,
to
the theories are
mention,
great.
not to mention Dave and Dan.
That's true. Wait,
no, on it like
y-
in all honesty, I absolutely love Glidus's piss take videos, and I like sit and listen
yes.
to them, and like that. I was just teasing.
Uh, uh, while we're on the subject,
Look, none of these channels that you're watching right now would exist without Glidus.
I mean, that's a fair point.
Also,
Uh,
he's a really
Ew.
chill guy, like
uh,
just so nice.
sidebar, perhaps my two favorite videos he's ever put out are the last two House of the Dragon videos. They were really,
Really,
really good.
I mean, they were. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, his whole House of the Dragon series was, like, spot on. So, actually, my son's grandmother, hadn't seen House of the Dragon yet, and she and I were hanging out one night. We have sleepovers now. It's actually a nice time, but so I put that on, and I was like, "Hold on," because she's almost 80. She's, like, 79. I was like, I'm not going to be able to explain everything to her. So I just put on the Glidus intro video and she's cackling. She's like sitting on the couch and she looks at me and she goes, "This guy's funny." And I was like, "Yeah, he is."
Yeah, correct. I didn't
Oh,
realize I could like. My mom has watched through the entirety of the Bad Dragon show and is a big fan of House of the Dragon. She could absolutely like. I could just point out all of y'all's videos and be like, "Yeah, like this is this is my friend." I'm not gonna say his real name, even though he doesn't care. Random internet guy. You can watch his videos about it, and like same with you, Mira. I could just be like, "Yeah, this person talking about these characters you recognize who's like entertaining and makes fun videos." Yeah, we've gone to karaoke before.
Man, what what
um,
what a I and I promise we can end the tangent after this bit, okay? I just what a strange turn my odd little existence has taken since making fucking Game of Thrones videos.
right?
It's
Well,
been
like
oh,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
my channel is having its like 1 year anniversary this month, I think, because Valentine's last year was the day I released my second ever video.
Oh, congratulations.
yeah,
Thank you.
congrats.
Oh yeah, because I forgot that this isn't live. We're recording on Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yes, happy
Happy
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Um. Oh, I
I'm
did have one
spending I'm
other quick.
spending Valentine's Day with the person I love the most, George R. R. Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having Palentimes.
Yeah.
So
Uh
one other
oh,
quick Glida story that my I had left YouTube videos playing for my son, and my mom was over visiting, and I left it playing music videos, but then for some reason it jumped to Glidus's One Night in Bravos, and
nice.
I had stepped out to like to get the mail or something, and I come back in and the song is ending, and my mom goes, "I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones now," and I was like, "That did it? Okay."
Oh yeah.
Like I wasn't gonna argue with her, but like she just and I mean I love it. I enjoyed One Night in Bravos, but my mom just went absolutely ape shit over it. So she's gonna watch Game of Thrones now.
Anyway, Glidus is good. Go watch some of his videos after this.
Yeah,
You know what
Yes.
else is good? Theories about Daenerys. Uh,
yeah.
so
Theories about dragons.
can someone explain to me the three souls theory?
Oh yeah. So the idea is that the dragons have in them souls that are from living beings, basically. And there's Drogon, there's Rhaego, and there's Viserion, and that is Danny's stillborn child, and that explains partially why he looks all dragony. There is Viserion, who's Viserys, who was killed in a way that was in a holy city with like the metal in front of Daenerys, and his soul may have like stuck around or been put in the egg or something like that. It's unclear. And then there's Khal Drogo, who is also uh, dead, and his soul passed in a weird, kind of ritualistic, almost sort of way. Uh, and therefore, all the dragons have their souls within them. Is roughly the theory.
Yeah.
Interesting. Um, is any of that a ding, by the way?
Um it's all of it was the ding I had just listed.
Okay.
Just like the we can put like Glidus hypothesized that three human souls went into the eggs.
That that is a cool. That's actually a pretty cool position. I wonder how. I wonder if it. So that has some interesting implications. My mind immediately goes to Euron and his dragon egg.
Ooh.
And is then the killing of Balon his like like is the soul of Balin trapped in a dragon kraken right now?
Ooh. Okay. So I didn't have that, but please go ahead and write that down.
Ooh, okay. Uh,
Yeah. So for anybody just tuning in, if they were trying to skip over our tangent, I
hello.
have three half-baked but deeply connected theories that we're gonna work through that the guys are very kind to help me with here today.
Okay. So Balin
Um,
Greyjoy, um, we'll say Euron Greyjoy threw a dragon egg in the ocean.
oh, I was thinking about killing Balon.
Oh, okay.
And
Euron Greyjoy.
that he might, Balon's soul might be used for something. So that actually is going to be that's our connector. That's our jumping off point to get into prong two.
Be used for something. So this is not a theory about sacrifice generally. This is a theory about very personal sacrifice, like
Very
personal
personal
specific. Ooh,
human sacrifice. Yes.
very interesting. So both of these
Yes.
things so far involve the deaths of kings. Uh, we have
Waka
a
waka.
couple of other notable king deaths in the series. Should we list some?
Uh, you can. Um, it might take us somewhere, but that wasn't where I was initially thinking. You might get there.
Interesting. Okay. Um, Zach, we're gonna do this categories style. The
Ooh, I love
category is
categories.
dead kings. Would you like to
Uh,
start, or would you like me to?
should I start in A Song of Ice and Fire, or can I just go generally?
You got to start in a Song of Ice and Fire exclusive. We're trying to stay on the rails.
Okay, stay on other else.
Yeah.
Let's go Dead Kings. We can go with Rob Stark.
Um.
That's a dead king.
What do we?
Oh,
Yeah. For
yeah.
sure.
Okay. Many people
Oh.
speculate that Rob's soul went into Greywind.
Uh. Uh. I can jump to a person who is dead and becomes a king later. Jon Snow.
Mm,
No? Okay.
nah. And
Okay.
also the Rob Stark thing solidly goes into prong two.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll put it up here.
So
Uh,
prong one is just for dragons. So we'll
then
put squids and direwolves in prong two.
Rob's soul goes into Greywind and he dies. That's very interesting. So the speculation that John's soul goes into Ghost is not relevant.
Oh, I guess it is. I forgot that John was dead.
Oh yeah, isn't that
Everybody
wild?
forgets that John is dead.
My man has been dead for like 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could just, add John's name next to Rob's.
Oop.
Because it's the same idea. They die. And in this sense, I think we're all using king very loosely, that like John is the brother of a king and the son of another king. So like, you know, and he was Lord Commander of the Wall. Like
Yeah.
he's king-ish,
Right,
king
there's
adjacent.
right. Khal Drogo is a king only to the people who follow him. Right. It's like,
Right.
you might say that's one of the theses of the story.
Right. No, exactly.
Yeah.
And like Viserys was a king without a kingdom, and Rhaego was a king who was never born. So yeah, like they're all king adjacent.
Kings. Oh yeah, and Viserys was the beggar king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um.
all king's blood.
King's blood,
No
blood
Saul
on the
Unfortunately, got
Goodman.
maiden's thigh.
Okay.
But chains for the guests and chains for the bridegroom. I.
I.
Doo-doo, doo-doo,
I
doo-doo.
never, I never mentioned like the Ozzy Osbourne I until that exact moment. Now I don't know if I'll ever envision it as anything but.
Wait, Zach, can you do that? Can you music that?
Yeah. Can we do Jane?
I, I, I
Uh.
can I do crazy crazy train with his patch face? I suppose. I'm sure that
Yeah.
like the MIDI's gotta
Crazy
be pretty high
chains for the
quality for that one.
guests.
Yes. I.
I
I want everyone to
It's
know
possible.
I'm still waiting on the interesting nerd club sings stuff supercut.
Ooh, that would be. I would listen
That's
to that.
somebody's job.
We got in a very funny moment. I think it was Emily the Dangerous Wolf. Uh, uh, did a
So
supercut
that
of
we
Tom
had the Tom
laughing.
laughing.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
it's a
made
real
me
banger.
really happy. I go back and watch that sometimes.
Oh, I was listening to it. I was having a really bad day and I was driving home from work and I didn't know what it was, but someone had shared it in the Discord. So I just opened it and it was just this long track of Tom laughing. And I started laughing and my whole afternoon got better. So,
People make those comments in our videos sometimes, and I want you guys to know
Yeah.
that those comments make me really happy. Like I think it was
yeah.
maybe Kirsty on a recent video who said to the effect of, "I'm sorry you've been having a rough time, but I like your laugh." And I was like, "Thank you, dude."
Chrissy's such a
I
sweetie.
Yeah. We got such
yes.
good people.
We
We do. We
do.
have phenomenal. It makes me happy that this show makes so many other people happy, and I read the comments of people laughing along, or especially when I'm giving you a theory that makes you lose your mind, watching the people in the comments also lose their mind, brings me like some like comfort. But it's actually the thing I like re-listening to the most is like how much I'm laughing at the time. It's like, man, I was having a good time making this
Yeah.
one.
Yes. Nothing makes me laugh harder than me laughing. Anyway, um,
Yep.
Dead Kings, more Dead Kings.
If you want, you can go that route. It might get you there. But I think if you focus more on the dragons, that might get you there faster.
Okay, all right, Zach, we're focusing on the dragons.
We're focusing on the dragons.
Yeah.
So, King's Blood seems to have brought dragons back. Uh, you know,
Oh, oh,
uh,
I got one.
go for it.
I apologize for interrupting. I'm so sorry. I just get so
Oh
excited.
no, no, I was rehashing where we were at, so it's fine.
Egg. Egg also sacrifices for dragons. Maybe.
That's true.
Uh, yeah, that can be like a little one, kind
Oh,
of off to the side. Aegon the Fifth believed he could wake dragon's eggs
oh.
with his own blood.
Aegon the Fifth believed that sacrifices of his blood would bring back dragons. One
Oh.
of the people that he tried to sacrifice, maybe, was Rhaegar.
Ding. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a major component here. Um, so like I'm just going to talk through this for a minute and then we can write down whatever we think is most relevant.
Okay.
So Daenerys was pregnant when she went and her baby was alive when she went into the tent. And then she's told that the baby was dead. Um Rhaegar was born after having been rescued from Summerhall, presumably by Duncan the Tall, and the dragons did not hatch. So part of me wonders if Aegon the Fifth, if his plan would have worked if Dunk had allowed him to sacrifice um Rhaella and Rhaegar.
If Rhaegar was the specific target.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
not just king's blood, but like fetus blood.
Yeah, like
Ooh,
blood of the innocent or something like that.
Well,
yeah,
like egg for egg kind of thing. Like you take it out of one egg and put it in another
Oh.
egg.
yeah. You're doing an embryo swap.
Like you're like taking Keiko's baby and putting it in Kira.
Oh goodness.
An egg for an
But
egg makes a whole world breakfast.
I think about that often about like how that was an ingenious way to resolve the problem
Yeah.
of this actress who we didn't give a canonical relationship to is very much pregnant. Like she's
Yeah.
super pregnant.
Like, quick, we gotta write in a quick baby swap. Get it in here.
Well, and I just loved it because then she got to have that scene with Alexander Siddig and being like, "You did this to me," because he did,
Yes, he did do that to her
both canonically
famously.
and in real life. And then he went on to be Prince Duran. So there's your hook back
Yes.
to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, there's
I
always a
was,
way
I was
back.
gonna bring I was gonna bring up the Doran Martell aspect.
How can we fit Doran into this theory?
Um, no,
Well,
but he
okay,
does appear in a lot of my others. I have like two types of theories. I have one about like fae and magical creatures and like folklore, and then I have another set of theories about Oberyn.
Yeah, you
And those are
have
the
you have
two
a set
types
of
of
Oberyn
theories.
Martell.
Like, well, but that's how I got to the fairies thing because I also think he's a fairy. Literally.
he's at the very least fairy adjacent.
Exactly.
Now, you're not
Oberyn,
allowed to clip that out of context.
no, no, no,
You're
no.
not allowed to.
He's fairy adjacent the way like King Arthur is.
See,
He's
the
my
problem is
favorite
there's a lot of
character.
depictions of King Arthur.
Anyway,
King Arthur, any more donuts?
I did eat a donut this morning. Okay,
Oh, I want a donut.
focus.
Focus,
I
focus,
did not have
focus.
a donut this morning. I gotta learn how to make them though.
um,
The three excitable crazy people walk into a bar.
and they all want to
Halfway
talk
through a
about their
theory.
literary conspiracy theories. Okay, so we
And
have
donuts. Okay,
um
okay. What should I write down about that?
um uh, I don't know. So you in your own words, something about possibly needing unborn king's blood.
Unborn king's blood may is a connection between several magical sacrifices.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, specifically to wake dragons.
Two pagans. Wait a minute. Oh, baby, baby, I have a connection to squid shit.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
boy.
Um, uh, Euron is sacrificing his pregnant mistress, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Who is carrying King Ding? That's a
Yeah,
ding.
yeah.
And that goes in prong two.
Okay. Should I put this in the center? Does this unite all these things
Um,
over here?
I don't know. We can move them around when we're done, but so like I think of them in like because this was originally going to be 3 videos. So the first video was going to be specifically about dragons, and I was going to talk about the stuff that we have about Glaurung and Daenerys and Aegon, and some other. There's more dragon stuff that we didn't get to.
Okay.
Um, 2 more big dragon events that I know you know about, and then in the middle prong was going to be like uh, other creatures that are tied to the big families, specifically dire wolves and krakens. So
Interesting.
Yeah,
that
and that's the I think about this a lot. That so like there's a clear like we see with the Targaryens connection to dragons, and then that is like very much expanded upon and validated in other books, other shows. We see like a direct telepathic connection almost in House of the Dragon. We know there's a direct telepathic connection to wolves from the books and the show from Starks and their wolves. Uh there's a lot of like Kraken imagery with Euron, and it kind of seems like he might be able to control one, and that implies some other things. It also sort of implies that the Lannisters wiped out the thing they could control, if we're going by like house sigils. Although
well,
we've never seen
see,
somebody house Aaron control a bird.
I don't think that the Andals have animal magic because um the Ironborn are either first men or they're related to the previous dragon lords. Like I think the Ironborn used to be the Valarians to like the High Towers and the Danes.
Ooh, that's such a fun
Ooh.
take. Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun. Wait a minute. God.
But after the islands were like depleted of resources, they turned to piracy, and the High Towers and the Danes lost their dragons, and so like we're just left with these like remnants of these civilizations.
Is there well, there are we do have high tower mages, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Danes and high towers are both like very explicitly mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
They're
And
they're
they're
they're mysteriously mysterious.
Terribly mysterious.
and they're first men
Just,
who like aren't first men, and then there's like the Blackstone of the High Tower. Like it's a whole. But I mean,
Ah,
that's a whole other theory for another day.
dude, that's a
Um,
very fun take, and I like it. Do you have a video
but
on that?
no, but
God,
you see how this sprawls?
yeah,
How this
that's
is
good.
easily like 4 or 5 video essays that I'm sitting on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Um.
Okay. All right. So, have I gotten the big section, the big note up here?
Um. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What should that be? What's the big, like, thing up there?
Um.
Up in this corner.
Wait, for prong two, or for the soul, or for the
For
animal family connection?
for prong two,
Um.
or have we not gotten there yet?
I mean, yeah, we could say like prong two is like telepathic links to other magical creatures. Like that would be like the category title.
Telepathic links to magical creatures appear to be prevalent. Any families?
But specifically Valyrian and First Men families. Like the Andals are like conspicuously not doing that.
And first men.
Yeah. That's actually, I could do a fourth prong about the Andals. Like if we like if we really want to chug through these, I could do 4 prongs.
I'm kind of into this right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very like curious as to where this is going.
Okay. Here, let me give you the other Lord of the Rings piece from prong one
Okay.
and see if that gets you, because we're pretty close to wrapping up prong one. Um, so you'll notice that Glaurung was big and strong and could breathe fire, but he was earthbound, or terrestrial. He
And
couldn't fly.
is this a okay?
But and there are other like drakes in the Lord of the Rings universe, or like there were, that could fly but couldn't breathe fire.
Huh.
And it is part of the Lord of the Rings canon that only Iluvatar can create new life. However, Morgoth, who created the dragons, is able to create hybrids.
This seems vaguely familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So I mean, that can be shortened, but yeah, something about like dragons that um I mean, okay, so I am alleging that Morgoth bred dragons, and like specifically combined these flying drakes and dragons like Glaurung to create dragons like Smaug, who could both fly and breathe fire.
I this whole time I misinterpreted the word terrestrial in the first clue. I thought terrestrial meant on the earthly plane, not unable to
Well, it
fly.
it is,
Yeah.
because they're not in the skyly plane.
No, I meant in this dimension. Mira,
Yeah,
how
no, I
dare
did.
you? They're not in elf heaven or whatever or whatever hell is in Lord of the Rings.
Valinor. Uh,
How dare you call me such a thing? Morgoth bred dragons and combined flying drakes with terrestrial fire breathing. We'll say
And
fire.
then I would recommend you guys for the last kind of cohesive piece of this prong, looking at House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. Okay.
House the Dragon's awesome. I can talk. You want me to talk about Reese Fons?
I mean, he's great. I was thinking maybe though Matt Damon.
Oh,
Matt Damon.
Matt
Uh,
Damon. Um,
the actor who's not in the show. Just to clarify.
yeah.
There's Matt
Matt.
Smith who plays the character named Damon, but Matt Damon,
Right.
the
So
actor,
Yeah,
that's
very much not in it.
Matt Damon from The Martian.
Yeah, that Matt Damon. That's what we're talking about. I
Hang
like
on
how
a sec.
everybody's just agreed to call him Matt Damon
Yeah,
to make it even more confusing.
to you know I'm so okay with that until you started to point out that that wasn't his name, I was totally moving forward as though that was his name.
Yep, yep. I'm like, this could confuse people, and I'm gonna make it worse.
Yep. Okay, so Matt Smith, who plays Daemon Targaryen.
Who's based on Matt Damon?
Who signed a book in the possession of random internet guy?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Wait, no, no relation.
no relation.
uh, damn it. Okay. Uh, uh, he's one of the first people we ever see who unambiguously has a telepathic connection to a dragon.
um, it's not a ding, but you're getting warmer.
Okay. All right. He pores over books, presumably looking for ways to uh be dragon lords again.
Also not quite a ding, but even warmer. You're very warm now.
Um. Pentos. Um. The death of Lena. Let's see.
Oh
Uh.
shit!
What? Oh God.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought of that. Oh my god, Lena
Yeah.
and the baby.
Oh shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lena barbecues herself while she's pregnant.
Yeah.
See, this is why I need you guys.
Yeah. Zach, we're helping.
You're
Yeah.
helping a lot, actually.
That's what this is. This is helping.
um,
Now let me talk about Reese Fonse's beard for a little while. Okay. More. The death of Damon and Rhaenyra's baby. Is that what we're looking for?
uh, no, but that could maybe like make a note of it because now that we've started looking for dead babies, I feel like they're everywhere.
I know a
Yeah.
couple jokes about that. But
Quick. All right, categories, Zach. Quick.
name a dead baby.
Oh no 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 no
Tom, for a
No,
dollar,
no, no,
name a
no,
dead
no,
baby.
no, no,
we're not doing dead babies.
no. Wait, isn't that what this theory is?
I mean, well, kind of, but there's
There's a lot
uh
of dead babies in this theory that is not about dead babies.
yeah,
A
it's
lot of
more like
a lot of
we could
people are
list.
asking questions about my "This theory is not about dead babies" T-shirt that are answered by the shirt.
So well, so what it is there are a lot of examples of dead babies that all kind of steer us in the same direction.
Yeah.
So like we have now established that like dead babies are likely relevant. Um and we could list off all the examples. Um but like the meat of the theory is very close to this.
All right, can I just in the comments get a dead baby counter? But you got to name it something else so YouTube doesn't get mad. Uh, let's call it um uh
The cetal fetal.
oh God. Let's call let's Name it something completely unrelated. We'll know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is the number of times they mention Lay's potato chips in this theory.
Potatoes.
Potatoes. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
Maybe that's what they're doing with the babies.
No!
Okay, we gotta stop. Do
Hammer
you want
time.
me do you want me to give you a hint?
You know what? I would love a card. What do you think, Zach?
I think so. I think a card would be
Yeah, that
nice.
sounds very
Um,
nice.
so at the end of House of the Dragon season 1, Damon sings a song to uh one of
Oh,
Jaehaerys's dragon
yeah.
about, and he says 3 heads has the dragon. Um I'll see if I can pull up the lyrics, but I think that might give you guys enough.
What is his name? My brain wants to say Viserion, but that's not it. It's not Tessarion.
Oh, Vermithor.
There it is. Oh
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it goes.
That episode has a lot of egg imagery in it too. Um,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah. Damon goes and collects the egg. There's there's a childbirth scene that mirrors the one in the first episode. Man, that show's good.
Yeah,
It is a good
so
show.
Emma gave birth, and then Rhaenyra collected the dragon egg for um Balon,
Hmm.
and then Rhaenyra gave birth, and like Damon goes to get an egg. So like there is a connection here. Okay, so do you guys want me to read the song in English?
Yes, please.
Uh
Yes, please.
Fire breather, winged leader, but 2 heads to a third sing. From my voice, the fires have spoken, and the price has been paid with blood magic. With
Oh.
words of flame, with clear eyes, to bind the 3 to you I sing. As one we gather, and with 3 heads, we shall fly as we were destined, beautifully, freely.
Man, it is so nice of Damon to just lore dump while singing.
He's so good at it.
He's great
But
at it, honestly.
only for people who know High Valyrian, which shout out to Robert from In Deep Geek for like
Yeah.
making that video and making me think of this.
Yeah, since we're talking about other good A Song of Ice and Fire channels, In Deep Geek, real good.
Yeah,
Very good.
actually, none of any of this theory would be possible without him because he was the one who like first really piqued my interest in like the deeper Lord of the Rings lore. Um,
Oh yeah, he has a video series called like it's something like what characters were doing throughout like the Lord of the Rings from Gandalf's point of view or something like that.
oh yeah, those are really good.
Yeah, they're excellent, and I think I did watch all of them in like a weekend.
Hmm.
Uh, okay, so there's a lot to unpack in that song. Um, would you mind giving it to me again?
Yeah, fire breather, winged leader, but 2 heads to a third sing. From my voice, the fires have spoken, and the price has been paid with blood magic. So that's the first half. And then with words of flame, with clear eyes, to bind the 3, to you I sing. As one we gather, and with 3 heads, we shall fly as we were destined, beautifully, freely.
God, that
So
show
there's
fucking
2 heads
rocks.
singing to a third, which one makes me think of that like meme of King Ghidorah where there's like the 2 badass looking heads, the one goofy one. But also it implies there's a third person they're looking for. Like a third. Well, did they have any blood siblings? Question mark. Presumably, they wouldn't have lived past childhood if they did, but I don't think so. House Targaryen history is not as good as it could be. Uh, who would be the third head to if those two are supposed to be, Vizzy T and Matt Damon are supposed to be two heads of the dragon? Who is the third?
Well, see, I think that it's deliberately misleading. I think Rhaegar fundamentally misunderstood three heads has the dragon.
You think uh that you think Rhaegar thought that the dragon was the metaphorical like unity of three Targaryens. But you think that it actually means like the dragon eats three individuals.
I think it is the creature, the rider, and the soul.
Ooh.
Yeah. So like the three heads for Daenerys, it would be Daenerys, Drogon, and Rhaego. Like assuming Rhaego's soul went into her dragon.
Okay. Let's see.
So
Do
now,
we have another example? We have other examples on this on the screen. Um,
so
there's
this is where like I haven't sat down and done the math. Like I would really love to just hand this off to Preston Jacobs and be like, "Good sir, I have come up with this very cool theoretical thing. Do you want to do all the math and take half the credit?" But also I think like magic doesn't necessarily have to be a one-to-one. So Company of the Cat, like a year ago, put forth a blood sacrifice theory that like part of the reason Targaryens have fucked up kids periodically is like they promised their children to the dragons or to whatever Valyrian gods in exchange for like the power of riding dragons.
Oh my
And
god, this is the fucking plot of Paranormal Activity.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
there's
okay, so like this concept has existed throughout like human folklore and history for centuries. Um and this is actually I came to this from the Fey angle of like Craster and sacrificing his sons to the others. But so
yeah,
this is the way that the Valyrian magic is actually very similar to the First Men old gods ice Fey magic.
But
Is that like you're Mhm.
but uh, uh but there's a distinction here where in like in classical myth, when you do that kind of a deal, you do that kind of a deal with an individual. It's less of a natural process than it is like a sentient process, right? It's an agreement. Is the implication here that the Targaryens have made a deal with an individual or a collection of individuals?
I think a collection
or
of
well,
individuals that we haven't seen yet.
That's
Yes.
fucking
yeah,
that's
some
like deeply frightening.
yeah, some otherworldly beings, some supernatural beings that like Targaryens have. This is because it's fascinating, and you can see like there's clearly
Yeah.
something magical about the Firstman blood that it's clearly tied with the Children of the Forest, and it's probably tied with the others as well. And there's clearly something magical about Ironborn blood, or at the very least, it's starting to look that way, and it's probably tied to uh, like the Squishers and the Drown God, and like their
Y-
first king, like apparently marched into the ocean when he just got like he was like 200 something years old, and just like fuck
yeah.
this, I'm out.
Yeah. So
Like
so so you like this is why I titled it the Fae of Ice and Fire series because like mermaids and selkies are types of fae. Um,
Yeah.
so what it is like all of these, like there are different pockets of fae creatures throughout the world, and like so we've seen two of them, right? The well, we've heard of we we've seen two and we've heard of another two. So we have the others, and we have the others that are like ice fae, unseelie fae. We have the children of the forest, who are like water fae, but like fresh water in the forest. And then the squishers that are like ocean fae, seawater. And I would lump mermaids and selkies in with them. And then we have the Ifiquevron, which appear to be more like the children of the forest, like woods fairies. But I don't see why you couldn't have volcano fairies. And actually, the children of the forest live underground and use obsidian. And there's the whole so actually the first theory, or the most recent theory I've been working on, is about Hardhome, right? And the fires and the caves and the screaming. So to make a long story longer, yes, I think there is some kind of children of the forest analog that was native to Valyria
Um,
that
um,
made a pact with the dragon lords, much in the same way that the first men made a pact with the children at the Isle of Faces.
hold the
Honestly,
hold
it's
the
pretty believable.
hold the fucking phone there, bud. You put your fucking Molson down. All right. You get your keister back in your chair. All right. You listen. Hold the fucking phone.
Okay, I'm holding it. What do I do now?
I have a Rolodex in my brain of
Hmm.
characters from things I like, and I'm like running through the Rolodex under Targaryen, and like, man, you look back through Targaryen history, and it really does fucking read, when you put this lens on it, it really does fucking read like a family that is cursed, right? A family that is destined to like have children taken, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys, the only example that's come to my brain right now for whatever reason is the fall of the House of Usher. Uh,
Yeah, no, yeah, I was
you know,
gonna say follow the House of
yeah.
Usher.
But there's
It was a really
freaking
good
20
halftime
more
show
I've
too.
fucking read, but I can't think of any of them right now.
Yeah, but it's a trope.
Yeah.
And George, like you can't subvert tropes without like using them and recognizing them. So yeah.
In order to put a twist on a trope, you need to establish that you know what the trope is.
Right.
This is actually like a pretty like cornerstone of like a lot of my favorite pieces of media is I understand you know what a blank is. That's why I'm using the lens you usually view that through to mess with you. And that's
Hmm.
George does this with fantasy novels to a T. Oh, your people are especially powerful with something because they made a pact with an ancient deity. That ancient deity is probably fucking scary.
Yeah.
You interbred with this like extinct race. That basically means you have alien things that will happen to you that are weird or scary or unpredictable. Like that's George's whole like thing with fantasy is uh it's not just, you worship this fire god and gives you cool fire powers. You worship this cool fire god and your soul gets eaten away every time you are resurrected with fire and become more and more of a husk of a human being powered by
Yeah.
flame. That's
So
his whole
so
that's his whole bag.
so this is actually prong five. Um the
I only
faceless
have
men.
two. I only have two prongs on the board, by the way. I'm still stuck on prong two.
Yeah. So okay. So do you want me to just like wrap prong one really quick and we can just like move away from the dragons?
Sure.
No. Well,
Uh
hey,
so
hey,
uh we went.
hey. I'm still thinking about prong one. Hang on.
Okay. I have to make sure to keep it straight in my head now. I went into this with 3 prongs and we're coming out with 5.
Hang on. Okay. So, because like, I mean, I'm reminded of the story of Arya Targaryen.
Yes, ding.
Yeah. Okay.
So tie it all together for me, Tom. You have it.
I mean I mean is the tie it all together that like the Valyrians made a deal with whatever lives inside the 14 Flames for control over dragons. At some point, they stopped being able to provide the sacrifices or chose to stop providing the sacrifices. And either the 14 Flames erupted, destroying their dynasty, or they attempted to assassinate whatever was like they tried to kill the devil that had their contract um and they were eradicated instead.
Yes.
The Targaryens are now the only things left that have these deals, and this gives them the ability to maintain their fire magic so long as they provide sacrifices to these entities. This slowly declines over time, presumably in part because of the faith. The faith frowns on that kind of literal demon worship, um,
Yep.
Yes.
and this caused the decline of the Targaryen magic and the Targaryen powers. Arya Targaryen, when Balerion went home, he remembered where these kobolds lived. Uh,
So
uh,
um
and like area, they assumed area was a sacrifice for them.
yeah, or Drogon might, or not Drogon. Wow. Balerion uh had this like ancestral memory and brought her there deliberately because remember what came out of area.
The nightmare worms.
Worms with faces.
Yeah, and what lived in the 14 flames?
Um, burrowing worms.
Yep, burrowing
Yeah.
fireworms. And then in Sithorios, there are
Oh yeah, the
um
non-fire breathing drakes. Yeah.
Waka Waka.
Till I walk a flock of flame.
So so our additional piece of Lord of the Rings lore that comes in now is that werewolves in Lord of the Rings are not the werewolves that we think of. Like, they're not humans who turn into wolves. They're like giant wolves. And he also calls them wargs. He uses warg and werewolf interchangeably.
Wait, no, the wargs in Lord of the Rings aren't. Does he call wargs werewolves? Because if he does, that's stupid.
Hold on. Well, hold on, hold on.
Werewolves are just the wargs are just sentient wolves.
But they're bigger.
Yeah, I mean
And
they're
they're,
kind of
hold on.
they're sentient big dogs.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The one thing in Tolkien I'll argue about is anything that happens in The Hobbit, and I love the wargs very much. The orcs ride
Okay. It's
wargs.
what it is a translation thing because it's like from Elvish, whether it turns into warg or werewolf.
Ooh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. So Tolkien's werewolves and vampires are not transformed humans. But so the important point here is that warg and werewolf, or in possibly Song of Ice and Fire, warg and direwolf, are interchangeable or like interconnected concepts. And that people believe Tolkien's wargs slash werewolves are sentient because of the spirits or the souls that Sauron put in them.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah. So they're not humans who turn into wolves. They are giant sentient wolves with a spirit inside of them. Yeah. Yeah. So we're like deeply into prong 2 now. um
Yeah.
because and we see this in A Dance with Dragons in the prologue.
Yeah.
um Varamir says that when they die, their spirit goes into the body of their animal. Did we lose you, Tom?
No, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay. um okay. Yeah. And I think it's important to note that Sauron put the spirit in them.
That
Because Sauron was a Maiar, like Gandalf. He was like an angel.
God, Lord of the Rings is so fucking complicated.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Yeah, it is.
So,
It's on my list. I'm reading it now. I'll do the Silmarillion next. Okay, you fucking nerds.
well, so like part of my theory is that the children of the forest and the others are kind of like the Maiar, like in that they live for a really long time and like their spirits are immortal, but like you could kill their bodies and like they have extra magic and they've been around longer than humans. But they're not gods.
Why would and why would in this analogy they not be elves?
Because I don't believe elves have the same like the same abilities to like mess with the fabric of nature.
Ooh, okay.
So like this whole thing about Morgoth breeding the dragons, and like Morgoth created orcs by like malforming elves that he had captured. And like the elves don't do that.
Do the Children of the Forest do that?
I am alleging that they did.
All right, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So in like and this is where we get like the ice and fire and the mirror imagery, that the children of the forest analogs made this pact with the Valyrians, and the Valyrians bred their dragons and got the ability to like put souls in their dragons to make them sentient and to like create a bond, right? um and then we know that the first men had a pact with the children of the forest, where the first men agreed to start worshiping the trees, giving blood sacrifice to the trees. Um, and that from then on, we see certain first men with these green seer and warging abilities. Um, so presumably the children of the forest perform that same service for the first men as the whatchamacallits in Valyria. Like we can call them like Ifiquevron 2. I don't know. Like the Valyrian children. I don't know. Um
Dead ass. Why do we not um we are calling we are saying that the squishers are water fairies and the children of the forest are um forest fairies. The A volcano fairy would be a kobold, right? They'd be
oh.
right.
Oh, I
Um,
didn't know there was a word for that.
kobolds,
Yeah, they're
kobolds are described differently depending on the different region and
well.
fantasy thing, but
So are
yeah,
mermaids.
that's
Yeah.
true. And
Yeah.
kobolds are definitely underground, like big, have reptilian features. If
Oh, that's
there was,
perfect. That's exactly what it is
yeah,
then.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly what it is. Because so like Fae isn't just like humanoid, beautiful, whatever. Like some of them are very small, some of them are extra tall, and some of them are hideous, and some of them are beautiful, and some of them have fins. So yeah, 100%. That's what it is in the volcanoes. Um, but yeah, like for like our Lord of the Rings analogies, I'm putting the Fae and the Maiar kind of on the same tier of like extra magic powers. They've been around longer, but they're not gods.
Oh shit. Pardon me. I'm looking at pictures of kobolds. Uh, I'm. You know, it. Goblins probably fits better, but
It depends. So kobolds are like in more modern fantasy, usually 'cause this is what D&D decided to do, depicted as draconic in nature. So them being little cave dwelling dragon peoples, uh,
Okay.
honestly fits with the interpretation here. I think just
Yeah,
fine.
okay. Later taking root and stemming from Germanic mythology, the concept survived into modern times in German folklore. Yeah.
yeah, I just sent you a couple of pictures of like horrible little nightmare cave people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um no, I love it. Well, and we know that Germ is into Celtic and Norse mythology, so like why would he exclude Germanic folklore? Like it actually would be weird if he didn't include it. So,
All right, let's. All right,
um
guys. All right, I'm putting my theory testing cap on here.
mhm.
This is my favorite part of any theory video, where I try to find supporting examples or counter examples. Can we find an example in the series of a reference to anything like this living in or around Valyria? Like we have like pseudo mythological references to things like Grumpkins and Starks, um, in the North. Um, I bet that I seem to recall like mythological references to like sandworms in Dorne, although I might be confusing my fantasy. Um,
So we know that Balerion was messed up when he came back, and there was some fear of like what could be so dangerous in Valyria that it could like attack Balerion
yeah.
and pose a threat to him. Um yeah, it's just kind of like vague references to demons and monsters, but there are also the velociraptors in Sithorios.
Oh fuck yeah, those
And
things are awesome.
that's also where the drakes come from. So we know that the Valyrians went to Sithorios.
Oh, is that what it is? Do we think that's what it is? No, probably not.
Well, but so like I think there is a reference to these kind of like like if the velociraptors are lizard fae or kobolds, like I think there's like we haven't had a direct reference, but I think there's enough kind of adjacent stuff.
I don't think that
Yeah.
if George Martin was going to put in a reference to like a lizard fae, I don't think that he would out and out describe them as a velociraptor.
I don't
I think that's a velociraptor.
possible.
um,
Um
but something living under the 14 flames. Are there ever any references to something like, I don't know, like will o' the wisps or or creatures living? I guess the sandworms. Yeah, I guess it's the
yeah.
lava worms. Yeah. I mean, the
So
lava worms have got to be good enough, right? That's good enough. I mean, yeah.
yeah, like to me, like the people describing vaguely the horrors in Valyria, Balerion coming back all messed up, and the fireworms, like that to me altogether is enough to be like, yeah, there's something there.
Okay. Now, help me on that point. The the I have always assumed that the thing that attacked Valerion is real fucking big. Um, are
Yeah,
you
I've
could
always
is
thought that too.
yeah. Are we
There
asserting?
there are like another dragon there that's maybe in like a. I've always assumed. Sorry to interrupt here. Uh, uh, Valeria has a lot of like nuclear apocalypse sort of feeling to it, where like you literally have like the stone men around the area. There's the weird mutated worms. Everybody who comes back there is all like fucked up, and barely anybody ever lives to like talk about it. It's very like demon core in Chernobyl, right? So I'm assuming whatever attacked Valerian is an older dragon that like has been changed to the point we don't recognize it anymore.
And that's also what I was thinking, like something dragon adjacent that is like older, stronger, perhaps more magically powerful. Like I think a white walker or an other could like go into one-to-one combat with a dragon and like be evenly matched, even though an other is physically much smaller. That like in terms of magic stats, I think they're comparable, kind of like in the Lord of the Rings movies, like Gandalf versus the Balrog.
Okay, whoa, hold the phone here. This is a dramatic comparison you're making. Uh,
Well, so
this is
well, not really, because the Balrogs are Maiar, just like Sauron and Gandalf and Sauron.
but the others can be taken out by a 19-year-old with a rock.
Well, no, so I'm not saying that the others are like on the same level as a Balrog, but like a dragon can be taken out with an arrow to the eye, or like a bunch of
That's
peasants
true.
with rocks. So that's, I guess, what I'm saying, that like an other versus a dragon would be evenly matched despite being different sizes, in the same way that Gandalf and the Balrog were evenly matched despite being different sizes.
I like this take. I think this is a good take.
Yeah.
I think so. When you were describing the possibility of Fae under the volcanoes in Valyria, my brain went to a Gulliver's Travels sort of place where many
Oh,
littler creatures like locked down Balerion for some period of time.
oh, that could be cool.
Yeah, but it could also just be a big fuck off worm.
Yeah, and I think George left that part like deliberately vague.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be kind of like it's scarier because we don't know. Um, so like I've just been kind of leaving like an algebra X that I can move around in the equation, but I haven't identified X, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There is something scary and magically powerful. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Zach, you're better versed in D&D lore than me. Is there precedent for dragons soliciting deals?
Soliciting meals?
Soliciting deals, like
Oh,
making deals with
deals.
Oh,
locals.
wait, that
Um,
happens. Sorry.
yes, depending on so each dragon, like there's the chromatic and the metallic. The metallic are good, the chromatic are evil, but they're very different kinds of evil. And you might be able to have like a legalistic debate with a lawfully evil dragon and come to terms it agrees with. A chaotic evil dragon will betray you 3 seconds into that deal if it doesn't eat your face first. Uh, and that is something, it's usually DM discretion as to how like willing a dragon is to talk to, because dragons believe they are the most perfect and awesome of beings, at
Same.
least the chromatic ones. The metallic ones probably also do that, but they're just nice about it. Um, the likelihood that it's going to deal with you instead of cooking you and eating you depends mostly on what you can do for it. Like if you're making a deal where a dragon gives you very little in return and you give it a bunch of treasure, it's going to be amused by that prospect and probably hear you out. And if it seems like a good deal, DM discretion, obviously. Yeah, the it might do just that. Uh, Granted,
Interesting.
you can also worship uh, Bahamut Tiamat. Bahamut, the good one, does serve well his clerics and all that, and Tiamat is evil.
Interesting.
Um, and there is precedent. So in both Smaug and Glaurung, sort of make deals, and that's actually one thing like is that's kind of funny about them. They both monologue a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Um, and Glaurung, I can't remember the guy's name, but had this guy's mother and sister like captured, this elf guy, and he goes to rescue them, and then Glaurung's like, oh well, you can have them back, but only if you do XYZ. And then the guy's like, okay, fine. And then Glaurung like mocks him because like his mom and sister are already gone. um but yeah, so there is like I think Tolkienian dragons are like more, well, I wouldn't say more sentient, but like they're able to communicate in human language in a way that I don't think the Valyrian dragons could. So like here I'm kind of equating the Valyrian dragons to the Krakens, the dire wolves. Um but so I think you were onto something, that there is another, like a higher level dragon like fey something in the,
Somewhere in the 14 flames.
yeah.
Yes,
Hell yeah.
there's a higher level. The 14 Flames is some sort of like Tiamat y like
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
is connected to it.
This is
Yeah.
that Zach is exactly where my brain was going.
Well, because Tiamat to have the like D&D lore has a head of, I believe, every dragon. It might be every chromatic dragon. Let me hold on, pull up to you. It's been a hot minute since I've played
Zach just wants to
D&D
flex
with
D
like
and D
that
lore.
lore. I want
Give
to
him a minute.
make
Give him
sure
a
I get
minute.
it right. I want to make
Well,
sure I'm right for it. So yeah, it's one of every chromatic dragon head, red, blue, green, black, and white that she has. Which means that she has like the minds and the like thoughts and the temptations and views of all of them, which means like there's lawful evil, there's chaotic evil, there's neutral evil all in there. So it's a very complicated thing to try and make a deal with Tiamat because there's like eh, borderline like schizophrenic like multiple personality, what you want to call it. There's five different brains you're dealing with and they don't always agree with each other. uh
And they never agree with you.
exactly, yes. So and I want to say you can worship Tiamat. That's an entirely valid deity that will give you powers. But it, George R. R. Martin has played D&D. He probably has thought about this. Somebody who worships a god with five heads, or oh hey, the dragon has three heads.
ah.
Uh,
Ah, wait a
Someone
minute.
who worships
Hold the fucking phone. That's actually. Hang on. That's good.
yeah, someone who worships a god with three heads is worshiping a god with three brains, and they might not always agree with each other. It might be that it's fine with the deal you made today, and then in an argument with itself about it tomorrow. Uh,
Like,
and
do
that's kind of how I always have written TM in my D&D campaigns, is that there's an internal conflict going on in this deity that is above your level to process it, and it makes her dangerous to deal with.
Yeah.
so. I think that there's a couple of like really cool, pretty distinct possibilities for what sort of thing is down there. Thing or things. And pardon us, we've been off the rails for a little while. How do you feel about those as possibilities?
I love them. I think that they're all fantastic ideas, and that's one thing I love about the story, is that it could be a number of things. Um oh, and the connection, you know how like the Weirwood net will go out to the islands?
I'm sorry.
Like the weirwood roots, or like the weirwoods on the Isle of Faces are like connected to the other weirwoods despite being in the middle of the God's Eye.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
We were talking about this when Michael talks about stuff.
yeah. So I think the volcanoes are the same because Tyrion is wondering to himself in A Dance with Dragons why the Valyrians never went further west. He said that's where all the gold is. They stopped at Dragonstone, which is a
Oh,
volcano.
oh, oh my
Uh-oh.
God! You're implying that whatever it is that is under the 14 flames can reach or has reached under Dragonstone.
Yep, yep, yep.
What the fuck? Oh no, that makes the story different.
That it does. Oh,
Oh,
Tom, this goes back to
oh,
the
and
Wyatt.
that loops back in Damon's singing.
Yep.
Yes, it does. Because he's on Dragonstone. Goodness. Tom,
Damon
Tom,
for
this loops back into
This is
one
an
of our
old
Y
church
questions
song. Oh
about.
my God, that's a hymn.
hmm
Yeah, we asked previously why include an active volcano in your story unless you're going to do something interesting with it.
That's a oh, Zach, you're right. That's that's a why for those of you who
Yeah,
don't watch every single video. That was a why episode of ours in the past. Why include Dragonstone in the story at all? It's
is
weird to
having
have.
characters go to an active volcano and
Yeah.
comment on how active it is like as clear of a Chekhov's gun as you could possibly get.
Uh uh and we know in Game of Thrones season 7, um they go like there is a mining expedition under Dragonstone. So, and Sam in A Feast for Crows keeps on remembering that. Wait, am I? Or maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm confusing with the show. I think he keeps on remembering while he's at the Citadel that there is. Damn it! Does
Obsidian?
yeah? Who keeps remembering that
Yeah,
there's obsidian
It's
under
Sam.
Dragonstone? Is
Sam
it?
or Stannis or one of them. I don't
Yeah,
know.
somebody keeps on thinking about that.
Yeah, because Obsidian. So there's another book series I love by Tamara Pierce. Um, and there's a character who like used to be a crow. But he calls Obsidian shiny volcano rock.
This is a fair description.
So okay, so this actually brings us to prong 4 about Hardhome.
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
Where the fuck are the children of the forest getting all this obsidian?
Hey, that's a good point.
yeah.
I think Hardhome is like a combination of Bell Island and Mount St. Helens.
There's
Well, that makes sense.
a bunch of obsidian north of the wall.
Which means there must be a volcano north of the wall. Or the children of the forest have a tunnel system that gets them all the way to Dragonstone.
Which
I
seems crazy
I
to me.
think both. No, I think it's both.
Well, no, what I mean is it seems crazy to me that that would still be like quite active, right? That's a
Oh,
long
the
way to
tunnels.
travel for
Yeah.
some obsidian.
That yeah. Yeah. Um
But
although
we know that the children of the forest are still like actively. Wait a minute, that's pretty good.
yeah, so this is again coming back to like my Fae of Ice and Fire series. The East Sheed means the people of the mounds because in times of danger they lived underground. And what do we keep seeing? We see these burial mounds and the barrows.
Yeah.
And the barrows are actually prong 3, which we haven't touched at all yet. Um, but we see caves. There are caves at Castle Rock. I think we actually talked about this in another episode. There's like a weird cave system and a weirwood at every major castle.
Yeah, which fucking
Um,
rocks, by the way.
yeah, and there's like Ariane in the sample chapter finds this like cave system, and then there's like Gendel and Gorn and their cave system,
True.
and the wormways at the wall, and the Winterfell crypts, and like it's like secret underground tunnels and caves just fucking everywhere. High heart. Um, so hypothetically, like John was saying, like you could go all this distance and all over the castle underground. The children of the forest live for like hundreds of years. Like there's no reason they couldn't travel all the way to Dragonstone in their just underwater or not underwater underground, tunnel system. I mean, I think you're right. I think they're not doing that right now, but they could.
I may have a piece of supporting evidence.
Ooh, yeah, yeah,
I have been reading The Lord of the Rings. Um, and when Gandalf fights the Balrog, and then he falls all the way the fuck down,
yeah. Hmm.
down into the water, to the bottom of the water, and he manages to hold onto the Balrog while the Balrog finds his way into caves, like in the roots of Khazad-dûm. Uh,
Yup.
and he says that there are things living down there, old things, and he refuses to speak about them.
Yes, that is a ding. I can't
Oh,
remember where it was supposed to go, but that's a ding.
oh, okay. Um,
Uh-huh.
uh, uh, is the implication here? Wait a minute. Now that I'm thinking on it, George Martin talks about that scene a lot.
He does.
Yeah.
That and like Lovecraft, I feel like are kind of linked in his brain.
Wait a
Like
minute.
that
Yeah.
is the
Well, so,
like darkest Lord of the Rings ever gets in terms of like there are horrible things you never want to see in this universe.
well, and even before that, before they go into Khazad-dûm, there is the Watcher in the water that the orcs presumably like flooded out of his home,
Oh yeah, fuck that
and
fucking thing. That thing's so
well,
scary.
and it has glowing tentacles and I think like fingers.
Yeah,
It's not just like a typical octopus. Like this thing is fucking
it,
nightmare fuel.
it's horrible.
And as Robert from Indeep Geek pointed out recently, because he did a video, why not just throw the ring into the sea?
Yeah,
Um,
Zach and I were just
We were
the
talking
talking
about
about that
this.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's in
So,
like
but the
our
what?
last video.
Yeah. I feel like I bring up his videos a lot. Like there was the one that we did, and then I was like, oh, this is like the Palantir. Um, oh, but it targeted Frodo. It was intelligent.
The ring?
And yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
the
the oh
the the
the Watcher. Oh, okay.
the Watcher in the water targeted Frodo, not Gandalf or Aragorn, not Gimli, who was like a dwarf, but Frodo, the ring bearer. Um, and Gandalf explained that because that's what he says. There are older things, fouler than orcs in the deep places of the world, and he's talking about the Watcher in the water, but it's also foreshadowing about the Balrog. But it's hinted at that the Watcher in the water came from deep under Khazad-dûm.
What a wonderful
Um,
series of this is such a wonderful lineup because honestly, Zach and I were talking about this like a week ago. Uh,
Yeah,
this is like we talk about how at the Council of Elrond, um, uh, 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 they talk about what to do with the ring, and someone is like, "Why don't we just throw it into the water?" And I think that's a reasonable, it's reasonable to bring that up. And Gandalf and Elrond are both like, well, number one, that's kicking the can down the road. 1,000 years from now, the ring's gonna find its way out of the water. And
if not
number,
earlier, if somebody like dredges it up.
yeah, and number two, who fucking knows what's gonna find it down there? There's scary things down there, and
mhm.
that makes me really want them to throw it in the water.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds interesting. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, that sounds like a different
Well,
story, but I want
I
it.
think but Euron,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
maybe that's exactly what Euron did.
Yes. Um,
Yeah,
I have another piece to connect to this.
yeah.
Um, my favorite. Yeah, I think my favorite A Song of Ice and Fire series on the internet. I just dropped all my dice. Um, it is
I like how you just had dice to drop ready to go.
I no, I've been playing with them the whole time we've been talking. My favorite A Song of Ice and Fire video series is for sure Time Traveling Bran. It's Preston Jacobs' Time Traveling Bran. Um, and he describes he speculates that Bran's time travel method will be a very long fall that lines
Oh,
up quite well and quite interestingly with Gandalf's fall, which is a scene that is not mirrored anywhere in the series, at least as far as I am aware. Um,
well,
oh,
I mean, I think Bran's vision when he falls out of the tower,
oh,
it's not a one to
yeah.
one, but like then he goes
Yeah,
flying and he sees everything and he's outside of time, and then he's sort of reborn when he comes out of the coma. Like I said, it's not a one to one, but yeah,
You know what? You're right. That's a good. That's actually very fair. Um, Mira, I have a request.
yes.
What is prong number 4, or 3,
Wait, hold on.
whichever one we don't have yet.
Whichever one we don't have.
Yeah.
Prong number three is the Paths of the Dead
Uh,
and the Crypts of Winterfell.
is
The
that
dead the dead men of Dunharrow.
related to there's a bunch of arrows?
There's a bunch of barrows and there's a bunch of dead kings with swords
Oh shit, you're right.
and a promise.
Dead kings. We were talking about that one too. Damn. Dead kings. Swords. Yeah. Zach, was this your speculation in the
sorry.
recent Lord of the Rings video where
What?
you
What?
brought up the dead men of Dunharrow?
Oh yeah. I fucking love that shit. That's my favorite part of Lord of the Rings, other than maybe Treebeard, who's also cool as fuck.
I'm so
And also
okay.
anything to do with
I'm not gonna
dwarves.
talk about it. Go ahead.
Uh, it's such like I've mentioned before. Some of my favorite aspects of a song, Ice and Fire, is this little part of the story could have been its own book, and like you get that sense every time they appear. And it's the I did a lot of theater, unsurprisingly, in my younger days. The leave them wanting more mentality. God, I would read an entire book about the dead men of Dunharrow, and that's why I'm glad we don't have one, because it makes every scene they're in feel so potent, so incredible. Every line of dialogue you get is a treat, and that is the same true of many of the historic parts of A Song of Ice and Fire. And yeah, I was talking about how there's a lot of ways that that can be paralleled in A Song of Ice and Fire with armies of the dead. We have so many good candidates for like a ghost who has some like curse or like something to avenge or something to take care of before they can properly rest. Hell,
Well,
Lady Stoneheart is just like the most obvious example. But sorry, I'm gushing about books I like. This is not completely relevant. But
um,
you're right. Dead Kings. There's a bunch of barrows. There's the dead men who are thematically similar. It's a dead lord or king and his men buried away in a hill.
because of a promise that they made and they broke.
Yes,
Um,
they kept
Mm.
it. They
and
made a promise and did fail to keep it, which a lot like the Targaryens, as you were saying earlier.
and possibly the Starks.
Ooh,
Um,
oh,
Oh,
there's always going to start Winterfell, and the
now
second
we're
there
oh,
isn't, things start to go wrong.
I thought we were gonna talk about the sacrifices, the Lord's night sacrifices that many people speculate about.
we are okay.
Yeah,
So this is where. Do you guys want to keep playing Deal Me a Card, or do we? Because I feel like it's going to take even like. Do we want to just?
I don't know. We are in uncharted territory right now. You're piloting. Go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let me just give you the premise. So there are the dead men for people in the audience who may not know. There are the dead men of Dunharrow who were sworn to fight for Isildur during the war of uh, elves and men against Sauron, and the men of Dunharrow didn't show up. And so because they broke their promise to Isildur, they were cursed, and they were sort of in limbo in the paths of the dead in these caverns. And like nobody could go there. Like if you went there, you would disappear. And they were waiting for the day that the heir of Isildur would release them from their vow. So that's what we see in Return of the King. Aragorn goes and gets the dead men of Dunharrow. But they, there is an appearance at some point uh, between like the last time between like Isildur fighting Sauron and Aragorn. And this was a Prince of Rohan went near Dunharrow. And the quote that I got from Nerd of the Rings is on the threshold sat an old man, aged beyond guess of years. Tall and kingly he had been, but now he was withered as an old stone. Indeed, for stone they took him, for he moved not, and he said no word, until they sought to pass him by and enter. And then a voice came out of him, as if it were out of the ground. And to their amaze, it spoke in the Western tongue, the way is shut. Then they halted and looked at him and saw that he lived still, but he did not look at them. The way is shut, his voice said again. It was made by those who are dead, and the dead keep it until their time comes. The way is shut.
Man, I kind of got goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, like, Tolkien's so good.
Yeah.
So, so, so this guy, this stone guy with this sword, reminds me of the statues in the crypts of Winterfell. Because what does Ned say the iron swords are supposed to do?
You're supposed to keep the dead. The dead kings use them to guard the tombs, right?
The iron swords keep the spirits of the dead Stark kings sealed in their tombs.
Fuck yeah.
So, right, because there's another, I think this might be my last example from Tolkien. At the very beginning of the story in Lord of the Rings, um, the hobbits come across the Barrow
Yeah.
Wights.
The Barrow Downs. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And the Barrow Wights similarly were like spirits of the kings or the kingdom that the Witch King had conquered, like in, hold on, this is Gondor and Arnor, right? The
Uh,
Arnorian kings, right?
I don't
Because then
know.
he was then the king of Angmar. Yeah. So anyway, they had been making special swords specifically to defeat the Witch King. And so these are the barrow blades that the hobbits pick up, and this is why Merry is able to stab the Witch King in the leg, is because he had a special barrow blade that was made by the people of Arnor who were Numenorians. And I'm getting like we don't need to go into all of that. Lord of
Spoilers.
the Rings fans, tell me in the comments about Numenor and Arnor. Um, so, but it's the same idea that the Witch King was able to control and manipulate these spirits to a degree. In the same way that like Sauron could and like put spirits into the werewolves. That like all of this is a degree of necromancy. And Tolkien has basically decreed that like all necromancy is evil, except all magic in Song of Ice and Fire is some form of necromancy, or it's fake.
Wait. Oh, right. Wait. Hang on. But these are, well, I was gonna say they're different kinds of magic, but I guess they're kind of not.
Yeah, so Tolkien's definition of necromancy extended to um what some people might call like sorcery.
Okay.
So like using using dead people's spirits to Tolkien was a type of necromancy because it was magic with the dead.
Sure.
So the faceless men, the red priests, the first men sacrificing people for their warging powers. Fuck it, even Qyburn with his reanimation shtick. I'm trying to like
I'm
I'm
trying to
trying to
think of
think
it.
of
Yeah. Uh,
yeah, I don't think there's any legit magic that doesn't use or stem from some type of necromancy.
okay. So
Um,
so okay. Hang on. We've lost the thread for me here a little bit.
okay.
Um.
Sorry, that piece just connected for me. But so to go back to the dead men of Dunharrow and the Barrow Wights,
Uh huh.
um, that was
How do they connect back in?
so that passage that I read to you to me seemed like
Like
almost exactly
like the
like
crypts.
this like the crypts, yeah.
Okay.
But that was as far as I got.
Okay. All right. I think for the purposes of this video, I think that there's a bunch of barrows in the Dead Men of Dunharrow. I think that one has to be its own piece.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so the reason that this ties in is that I was trying to figure out where the spirits of the dire wolves came from,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Because we talked about the Targaryen babies or Valyrian babies and like the blood sacrifice to make the dragons and bond with the dragons. So logic dictates that the spirits of Stark kings went into the dire wolves.
What do you think they were like they were like trigger released when the direwolves were found?
uh and that's what this is where I kind of need your help. So like um Ned died with that like and was never buried. Lyanna never got a sword over her statue. A lot of the older Stark kings, their swords have rusted away. So i think I think the Starks were maybe trying to end their pact and like get away from their magic, right? Because like iron is used to guard against the Fae. So, but over time, either Starks like Ned and Benjen dying away from Winterfell, or like the swords being taken, means that some spirits of Stark kings are out and about. And either might, show up Barrow White style, but I think more likely are more like the spirits that Sauron used to put into the wargs, like to make intelligent giant wolves.
But we know how this uh, hmm,
So,
this section is not squaring for me, I think.
and it's
I wanna go back to talking about dragon gods under Valyria. This one's not squaring
um
for me. This one,
oh,
like, in order to make this one work, we the audience would need to be familiar with specific dead Starks who could be in those direwolves. Otherwise, if it was just people we've never heard of that like inhabiting the bodies of these characters that we've known for a long time, um, I don't think that that would track.
well, so this and this is kind of where I was landing on it, that I think the the creatures that were bred can exist without the spirits, but it's the spirits that make them like intelligent.
Uh huh.
So because there were dire wolves beyond the wall. So for one, there is stark blood among some of the wildlings beyond the wall. And I think that actually also might be the difference between a Children of the Forest pact and a pact with like the others or another group. That I think for the children magic, they'll accept like spirits of adults and like old people and people who die of natural causes, as opposed to like the
Hell
Valyrians who
yeah.
are specifically sacrificing their
Yeah,
babies.
there's precedent for this too because during the oh god, I'm losing internet connection apparently, but during the dance, we learned that the men who are not expected to like survive the winter anyways are ones who go out to find some noble battle to die in, which feels like, the old gods will accept any good old sacrifice. It doesn't like they're not going after particularly the young or any particular group.
And the king's blood thing, right? Because that's the other thing. That's what Bran said. Only the kings and the lords get statues. I knew it tied in. I knew like there was a reason it was um so it like it's adjacent to prong two. Um so I guess it's a matter of like, are you the king going to sacrifice yourself, or are you going to sacrifice your unborn child?
Oh shit. Oh shit. Now wait a minute, but we know that when Egg sacrificed himself, it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, and he might have been missing the spell, so we don't know what song Miri Mazdur was singing. Maybe Miri Mazdur was singing the same song that Damon was singing when his daughter died.
Yeah.
Ooh,
This is something that
that's
like
possible.
this is like stuck in my craw for a long time about like something is not quite right about the story of Daenerys and Mirri Mazdur. Um
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's
yeah.
something very weird in particular there. The relationship they have that we only see like for a brief moment, uh,
Like dude, I'm
and
out
it's going to come back. And it's
here.
weird.
Yeah. And Daenerys keeps thinking about her. Like I'm out here like Mirri Mazdur's stated goal is to end this dynasty before it happens. Um, if that is her goal, she may have like, wow, did she fail? She failed so incredibly spectacularly.
Well, but she was like a friend of Marwyn's.
Yeah, right. Like something's not right. Something is not correct. So I am out here. Well, one of my favorite theories we've ever done is that Miri is Daenerys's mom. Um,
I was going to bring that up.
yeah. um, grandmother of dragons, as it were. Um,
Mm.
and but like, is it the case? Do we think that she? We're off on a tangent right now, but is it the case? Do we think that she conspired to spawn dragons? I mean, she's
I
got to be
think,
one of the only people on the freaking continent that knows it's possible, right?
yeah, and so I think the ploy to kill Daenerys's baby was deliberate.
Yeah, the more you think about it, the more it seems like a manufactured situation, right?
But
When you
this
think,
also implies that
yeah,
like Marwyn would have done the same thing.
yeah, it also implies that like I don't know, Illyrio is in on it, and uh uh that that the uh that the Khalasar was supposed to go to that particular place at that particular time.
Yeah, there's a lot that they like just got lucky with in the conspiracy. However, there's
Well,
this British sketch show that does this thing where they talk about like conspiracy theories and how ridiculous the things would have to be. Uh, for like Miri to have like set all that up, she had to either be guiding a lot of decisions and have a lot of people in on it, or just got incredibly lucky the whole time.
so the Lazarene are somewhat nomadic, right? They
Hmm.
they sort of remind me of like the Hebrews being like shepherds. And she was their priestess. So presumably she had a lot of decision making power, or at least convincing the head man. And remember, the Lazarene were in Dothraki territory at the time. So, I mean, assuming Miri can see visions in the flames a la Melisandre, like I don't think Illyrio or uh, the Dothraki needed to be in on it at all. Just Miri needed to know where they were going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that she needs to have seen visions in the flames. All she needs to have done is get a letter from Marwyn,
That
Yeah,
too. That's what I was. Yeah,
right?
that was my
Like,
other thought.
oh, well, yeah, yeah, for sure,
Um,
for sure.
well, but like as far as because I mean the Dothraki Sea is huge, but like so a letter from Marwyn, she knows they're coming, and a vision in the fire to like know approximately because she trained in a shy too.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, so I think like House of the Dragon analogs that like Marwyn is kind of like Daemon in this case, and then Miri Mazdur is kind of like Miss Arya.
I think that's a really good analog. Anyway, that's another theory. This video is perfectly on the rails. Um, okay, so I have 4 prongs on this board. What is the one I'm missing?
Okay, wait. So the prongs are the dragons, the other creatures,
Yeah,
the crypts,
yeah,
hard home.
yeah.
Hard home is prong four. Okay, prong five
Side.
is
Oh, go ahead.
oh the interconnectedness of the religions and how the Andals and the Faceless Men tie into all of
Oh,
this.
all right, the Andals. Yes.
So what were you going to say, Tom, before I like dive off in my
Uh,
last tangent?
a brief sidebar while we were talking about Barrows. Zach's and my comparison to the Dead Men of Dunharrow was to the 79 Sentinels, which I thought was just very fun.
Yeah, I had forgotten about them.
Andals and what do you want me to write here?
Andals and Faceless Men.
Okay, that's gonna go right here, and I'm gonna start like drawing some lines so that this tableau can be done. Fucking
Because I was
madness.
I was trying to square it because you said about like the Lannisters and the Lions, and so I think like the Casterlys or whichever first men inhabited that area, maybe had a telepathic connection with the Lions. Um,
oh, that
but
makes sense. And
but
then
the
the first
Lan
men of the Vale might have connections to birds.
exactly.
Oh yeah,
And so
like that one who the sky guy. Fuck.
the Winged Knight,
Thank you.
yeah. So what was it? So the Andals like took over these sigils, like well, not Borman Baratheon,
Oris.
the first the first Baratheon.
Yeah,
He took the stag sigil of House Durandon. So presumably, I think the Lannisters did the same with the lions of whoever was there first. Um, and then so then I was wondering, like, what the hell were they doing? Like, how are the Andals the only people to not have a pact and like to not have their own like innate magic? But they do. So, okay, and just run with me here for a minute.
I'm in. I'm here.
Um, the when so we know that the Valyrian Empire extended north into Andalos, and Tyrion tells us about this like as they're going through Andalos, and he tells us about Huger of the Hill and like the birth of the Faith of the Seven, and that the core belief of the Faith of the Seven is that it is 7 aspects of one God, right?
Sure.
And the Andals flee Essos. They flee from their home in Andalos to escape the Valyrian slavers who are coming and taking people. But logic dictates that not all of the Andals were able to flee. So some of these Andals were enslaved in Valyria under the 14 Flames. And like I know that a lot of people have dismissed the theory of like the faceless men being connected somehow to the faith of the seven, but the faith or the faceless men believe that all of these gods are faces of the one God, right? And
Yeah.
we know that there were Andal slaves. So I think
Oh,
the first faceless man who like founded that religion was an Andal, and that this is an offshoot of the faith of the seven. And my further supporting evidence for this is that when these people fled, they went north, they went back to Andalos, but they realized that that area was vulnerable. There were other people living there. They would be easy to see and easy to find. So they kept going
you,
through Andalos up to what is now Bravos.
you know something, dude? I kind of love that.
Yeah.
This is like there's a lot of stuff on this board that is insane. Uh that is just that is like beautifully speculative and paints a gorgeous behind the scenes picture of this story. This one that just actually really tracks for me.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just I like actually I might be sold on that one. Zach, what do you think?
Uh, yeah. That sounds incredibly plausible and works.
Because like
Yeah.
the for sure like the like just on its face the comparison between the many-faced god and the god of seven faces like that's fairly clear on its face.
I've always sort of thought like if there's any point to the like, it's all God with one like multiplied entities. The seven agrees with that more than it disagrees.
Yeah.
Like they're like, yeah, basically. We
and
just think there's only seven faces, not like all of them.
and um the the I think someone somewhere says every religion has an aspect of the stranger. Every I think it's Septon Maribald.
Hmm.
um says to the effect of everyone has the stranger no matter what you believe in. Um well that may be true, but the faceless men definitely have the stranger.
Yeah, every God really is a stranger when you get down to it with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
And
Dude, that's good.
so what's even crazier is the House of Black and White has these like secret underground levels,
Sure.
and they have the magic pools that kill you,
Uh-huh.
and uh the their their doors are black and white weirwood and ebony, which is a type of wood,
Mm-hmm.
and they're likewise their chairs. And so this was the video, my last video that I put out was about the weirwood objects. And so I pointed out that in Westeros we see the weirwood objects. We see um the moon door at the Eyrie, which is much like the Black Gate. It's like a
Oh,
weirwood door.
which
And then
yeah, okay.
the throne in the Eyrie is weirwood.
Sure.
And then Daenerys in Essos has an ebony bench. And then there are the black trees that make the shade of the evening. But the House of Black and White, they use weirwood and ebony.
Okay.
So between the tunnels, the canals, and the contacts with the weirwood and ebony leads me to believe that the Andals also had some sort of pact with a group of fae, yet to be identified. But or that like these fae might all be representatives of the stranger,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
shit.
or
Yeah,
this death.
like
Yeah.
um
Yeah,
the like I think that they are the closest to what we would consider a true religion, right? They
Hmm.
they aren't honoring a pact with supernatural servants of deities or supernatural entities acting of their own volition. They are the ones who are sacrificing directly to a deity.
Yes. And so like because a lot of people have been puzzling over like why they would choose Arya. and that like the last puzzle that she solves for them of like figuring out who's hitting her with the stick, she solves by warging a cat. So there is something there
You,
between. Mhm.
I was gonna say you think that they are trying to access her work powers.
Yeah, or that like she was selected because like she has this, and that um that what the faceless men are doing is warging other humans, or like corpse warging.
What? Huh?
Yeah, and this is where it gets a little fuzzy. But that we talk about like putting souls in the dragons to make them intelligent, putting souls in the dire wolves. Um, Kyburn sends the mountain's head in an ebony box. There's
Uh-huh.
the ebony at the House of Black and White, and like there aren't any animals associated with them. That and so like I was thinking about the mountain, and I was thinking about the faceless men. And so like what if they were like, hey, instead of putting spirits in animals, or like using animals for that purpose, like what if we were able to retain these human spirits ourselves? And so like that's how Kyburn was able to like reanimate the mountain.
Yeah,
um
and this I think could be explored in the series itself.
yeah,
Because Arya has not warged. Well, Arya has not taken anyone's face yet. Um, uh, 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 I, no, she has, right?
she put on the face of the ugly girl, and this was what was interesting, because it's uh the kindly man says this isn't a cheap glamour, because like the glamour that Melisandre uses, like disguising, oh well, this is relevant, disguising Mance's rattle shirt,
Uh,
that like Melisandre was able to like trap rattle shirt's spirit or essence in the ruby that Mance wears. But
and
so what?
she fucking murders Rattleshirt to do it.
Yep.
But
But
how does she? How does that work in reverse?
well, so what the faceless men are doing, like the next tier of that,
Interesting.
that like however they're trapping the spirits and using the essence is more solid, it's more concrete
Now,
than Melisandre using the jewelry.
I've always been under the impression that like the essence of a person is one of perception in this story, right? The you that you are, the you that everyone sees is not you, it is the you that everyone sees. Melisandre recreates that, and Rattleshirt is basically completely independent of that. People see what they want to see and what they want to believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is nothing about Rattleshirt's soul that is necessary for that. He can be dead. He can be just like Renly. He can have been dead for months, and still like people will believe that it's Renly if they believe that it's Renly. You're suggesting
Yeah.
that
Well,
there's more of a literal soul transfer happening in these actions.
yeah. So I think there are layers to it, because that concept we have seen of like Garland putting on Renly's armor and people believing that he's Renly, but the moment he takes off the helmet, people see that it's not Renly. And so then like the next step up from that would be mummer's tricks, like what Varys does, using perfumes and makeup and costumes to appear like, well, I mean, I guess that's sort of the same as putting on the armor. So the step up from that would be like what Melisandre does, where the magic and the glamour is coming from an object. It's coming from the ruby, right? But and the important thing here is that it doesn't require Mance to believe. or that like Mance doesn't have to do anything like really extra. He just like can put it on, and then the magic of the ruby like takes over. But with Arya, what happens when they put the ugly girl's face on her is she feels the pain that the ugly girl felt being abused. Like
Yeah.
Arya like physically and psychologically experiences
Is
what.
there I'm so sorry to interrupt. Please go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say like that there's a much more intimate connection using the girl's face as opposed to like Rattleshirt's spirit in a necklace, if that makes sense.
So is there I feel like there is yes, there is precedent for this. Faramir Sixkins talks about this. That when you are wearing and Bran does too a little bit. Um Jojen does rather. That when you wear someone else's face, you become them over time. Right? You take on aspects of the things that you're wearing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Check this out.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Yeah.
What if the faceless men are keeping all of these spirits so the spirits can warg them? And that's why they have to be no one.
That's some fucking takes rip off bong. Whew. Uh, Jesus Christ. That's a. I have terrible news. I'm too tired for that one.
Okay. Okay.
I tried to wrap my mind around it, and I see where you're going, and like my brain started running. I was like, nope.
Well, so it's
I'm I've been
like
doing the
the
same thing for most things for the last 10 minutes. My mind is
okay.
full of thoughts and they go nowhere. They're like
Well,
all really interesting and it's like, wow, I don't know what to do with this information.
Holy
okay.
shit.
So now I hope all of you understand why there hasn't been a Mirror Reads video.
No, this is all very fascinating and I don't know how to neatly package it into something I would call a theory. I'm just as lost as you are coming in. At the very least, we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
But like
Um.
it's all interconnected and it all rests on top of like the series that I've already done about Kyburn, about the Weirwoods, about the water, about the pact. Um and I'm just glad I finally tied the dragons in.
Yeah, that's pretty
Um
good. I
so
I have a
mhm.
I have a task for the people still watching this. I would like you to go into the comments, please. And I would like you to make a list of every independent theory in this video. If you need to make sub lists, you can. I trust you. Um that and like so we have the Valyrians are sacrificing to something, and then like 4 or 5 different sub theories under that of what they could be sacrificing to. I want a complete list, the entire fucking thing. I think so. Price is Right rules, all right? Let's get our numbers out right now. How many theories are in this video? Mira.
uh I'm gonna say 8.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Zach.
There are at least 15 distinct theories in
Yeah,
this
oh, for
video.
fucking
And then
absolutely.
and then like there's another 12 whys.
Yeah, I want you to in the comments. I want you to list the independent theories, the questions that we do not pose answers to, and
But
the
we definitely ask out
yeah,
loud.
and the external theories that we reference. I want that to be a different a different count too. Um, I think just of theories that we propose in this video, I'm gonna Zach. You said 15. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go.
15.
I'm gonna go with 20.
That's honestly a fair guess.
Yeah, my wager I was gonna say is 22 is the number of theories in this video. So, if you like this kind of content, please tell us, and we will sit here and fucking go insane while Mira tells us all the wonderful things that have been going on in her brain.
for the last like 3 to 4 months.
Holy shit!
Uh,
Sometimes you just need it. Sometimes you just need a therapy session.
yeah, a
Yeah.
therapy session,
This is
and
Eh,
so
that's the way I like my
these
pancakes.
so these all will at some point be individual digestible video essays on the MeeraReads channel. My video essays tend to be about 10 to 15 minutes long. For anybody who would like a more organized, categorized, in-depth, and particular discussion on each one. And Tom and Zach, if ever you want to like, be in on a video essay and read a section, I'd love to have you.
Oh, I would love that. I love reading stuff. That's one of my favorite things that I've done for RIG. Is just small and for Fantasy Haven for that matter is just small
yeah.
sections of like small sections of theory videos that I just voice act.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm all about that.
It's much easier to talk about a theory than it is to come up with one, as you know.
Uh, Honestly, I have like, as you have seen, a long list of half theories.
Like I'm out here like any one of these sections could be an entire theory video on our channel. And any one of these could be over an hour long. Dude, the Andals and the Faceless Men. Can we just do you want to come back? Can we just do a video on that? Do you want to just come on?
Yeah.
We can just talk about that because that is like true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
that's like
love that.
that's like the
It's
case.
two divergent interpretations. Yet there's a lot of yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
These are the same group of people who either independently discovered the same deity and interpreted it similarly, or started out worshiping the same deity, split off, and began worshiping it differently. This is like like religion genealogy like 101. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
And
and if you're interested, I did touch on this a little bit in my last video, The Secrets of the Weirwoods, um, to get a more in-depth look of like my initial thoughts on the House of Black and White and how that connects to the Weirwoods.
uh guys, is that our show?
I think so.
I think I have exhausted you guys, and I'm actually going to record something for Kevin Pendragon that I promised I would do like 2 weeks ago.
No, I'm speaking of good Song of Ice and Fire content.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're ever feeling like you're not getting enough, that they're all over the place.
yeah.
Uh,
We've
uh,
got like a rat pack.
we do. We have a wonderful little
That's a
crew.
very good comparison. We really could like make an Ocean's 11 style like film or something like that.
Oh
Oh my
my
God, what
Just
if
with
God.
all the people we coordinate with.
Oh
what
hell,
if
we
we
need
I
it.
did
We
still think
that for the
doing a table
upcoming?
read of it like one episode of season 8 would be really fun, right?
hell
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
We
We
gotta
could
do. If
have enough
does
people for
anyone
a table
know?
read of the bells.
Does anyone know when the next con is?
Uh,
I think it's
the next con
soon.
is the one we all decide to go to.
Um,
Let's do it. But we gotta do that in the next video because I need to go be asleep.
yeah, yeah. It's
Same.
is late. It's late. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, audience.
Thank you guys. It has been a wonderful time. And Mira, end on a joke.
What do you call a fish with no eyes?
I don't know.
Uh,
A fish.
No!
That's what I was trying to